Peace to the gang, and welcome to Quit the Cat Podcast. Peace to the gang. It's your boy BB. Welcome back to Quit the Cat Podcast. I'm alongside Bishop and PosiTiff, and this is a brand new episode. Yes. What's going on, everybody? Everybody doing today?
Good.
I'm sorry about my remix. It just happened.
And you be away for 2 weeks. You be away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, remix.
We missed the week.
Man, they don't need to know all that.
Yes, they do.
No, they know. Y'all ain't miss us, did you? You ain't miss us. Y'all ain't miss us.
Resurrection Sunday.
Listen, he rose
Who
so
did?
you could rise.
Who did? LeBron?
He did.
Who's he?
Jesus.
How's your vibe? How are you feeling?
Yes. Time to go into the vibe check. Bishop, how you feeling?
I'm feeling groovy.
Groovy.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Cat daddy-ish.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Job, turkey.
Yeah. I was watching Sanford and Son.
Yo, I like Sanford
I love
and Son,
it.
though, yo.
Yes.
Okay.
I did like Sanford and Son. That was my joint.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tiff?
Man, I feel like high vibrational, like just the energy's just, like you wanna burst, but like
Yeah,
you know
that's a
you
good
gotta
place to be.
you gotta
Yeah.
contain it.
Yes.
Yeah, like you wanna roll on the floor and be like, damn, I did that, but you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta.
Yeah. Go ahead, roll on the floor, though. I'm going to do that.
How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling fearless. That's my word.
Ooh.
You looking bright.
Yeah,
Yes,
bright
like
as hell.
we need some shades.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Fearless. That's how I'm feeling
looking
this week.
springy.
Yo, listen, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
springish.
I'm so excited about spring. Man.
It's coming slowly but slowly.
Yeah, both. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I love it.
All righty.
Slowly but slowly.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Both, though. It's coming. Yeah. Remix. We remixing today.
Remixing today.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, so I have a question.
Let's
Spring's
talk about
coming. People is about to be outside. You're about to see a lot of events in places. Like, not just locally. We about to be outside.
Yeah,
that's what they
outside.
say.
Yep.
And I'm excited to be outside this year because, I'm just excited.
Right.
How do we... There's a lot going on. Like, locally, nationally, state levels, different things going on. And not just...
It's a election year too, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, buddy.
One thing I noticed is, again, because I'm in different
They
spaces.
pandering. I'm sorry.
No, you already know. Don't get me started. I don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Keep your thoughts.
I don't do politics. I do people.
Yes.
I don't play politics.
Right.
I ain't about.
Yes.
What are you doing for the people?
Right, for
That's
sure.
me. I don't support nothing and nobody that's not about people. And
Yes.
I've come to learn that politics is not about people.
Right.
Not at
It's
all.
about backdoor deals and,
Agendas.
About paper.
agendas, and power.
Yeah.
Politics is
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
power, and that's not something that I seek in that way. So, but I am a super voter, so, and who I vote for in that space.
Mm-hmm.
That's between me and, so,
Oh,
but I
God.
do, Jesus. But how do we...
Trump 2024. Continue.
Go ahead.
No, I'm playing. Go.
Keep it in your space.
I said between you and Jesus.
And you and Jesus, what is you doing?
Because,
I'm playing. I'm
we ain't
playing.
responsible. The opinions of each of us.
Yeah, listen. He said he on his own, goddamn. That's him by
Let's
himself.
preface that. Yeah, you're going to have to stay on that island.
Yeah.
But what I've come to realize, because I'm involved on different levels, why is it so difficult for, and let's say this, let's just to set the context and the tone. Right now, NCAA,
Yep.
basketball games, a team has a responsibility to one another
Right.
to win.
Right.
So, as we've looked at these games and, their goal is to win
Right.
Absolutely.
as a team.
As a team.
That's what we're going to do.
Right.
So with the ideology of team, when it comes to individuals and people and different things and communities, what's the difficulty in keeping that team spirit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we say we want what's best for our communities.
Right.
How do we keep the community as the goal, as the hoop, as the...
And you know what I like about that? Because when you look at it on that level, each individual community is one community.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, so what I want for the Hill is what I want for the South.
Right.
What I want for the South is what I want for Uptown.
Right.
The same thing.
Yeah,
So like when you look at, especially in Harrisburg, and I look at it like those 3 or 4 areas, because the projects is pretty small, but we still count them as a and you look at communities.
And let me tell you this. So because we have national watchers. We are in, so the places he just described are specific to our community, because we know we national,
right.
We know we international.
Yes.
So we're talking about, you know what I mean. Y'all be like, the hell, Uptown? Sounds like what's he talking about? So we're talking about the capital city of Pennsylvania, which is Harrisburg, just so y'all know, the international watchers.
Yes. So like, and in your city, you have breakdowns in different areas, because every city, it really is broke down that way. And, for us, I feel that what you're speaking on should be easier to do, because it's not as big.
Right.
Everyone, I can say for us, at least about 3,000 to 4,000 of, well, we ain't gonna say that high, probably about 2,000. We all have the same friends. It's all the same. It's all the same people from the communities. The people that are the gatekeepers or the people that are in those positions, everyone knows.
Right.
So I feel,
it's like 6 degrees of separation or something like that.
I feel that.
So hold that thought. So in that 6 degrees of separation. In that 6 degrees of separation, again, any community, how do we stay focused on the community winning? Like, if we're all connected in some way, shape, or form, and I see, like, sometimes people can't put their nonsense aside. Whereas other communities, you see, when it comes to building, if we have a good business plan, we got a good thing going on, it's benefiting something, it's benefiting the team, and we winning. And I don't like you because, the personal stuff.
Yeah, the
keep
nonsense.
the personal stuff. Like, if it don't have nothing to do with community, keep the personal stuff out of it and do what's best for you.
But is everybody invested in the team?
Exactly.
Ooh, that's where I was about to go.
Is everybody invested in the team?
Yes.
Everybody's not invested.
Right, because going back to the sports thing, the point guard cannot do the power forward's job.
Right.
Nope.
And we said this before on another episode. You have to know your role and your responsibility and what you're supposed to do. And when you come up, or when my little 5'3" self goes down and tries to play power forward, that's not going to work. And everybody's trying to step into spaces. If you would just learn to operate in your own greatness. Can you imagine what we could do?
I know what we could do. We could.
Like, come on.
This world is ours, so
That's
we
what
could do so much.
Like, operate in your greatness for the benefit of the team.
I think the question that doesn't get asked, though, and I promise you, if you was to ask individuals, especially that sit in those seats, what are you trying to achieve?
They don't know.
I promise you're not going to know, and it's going to be the shallowest of a thought, because I didn't have to think that part. As long as I'm in here and I'm getting notoriety for being a part of it, or being a part of
say my name,
putting something together, you have to have an aim. You have to have a goal. So that's why I like to ask people, why do you do this? I ask people when I go and I see CEOs and people, why do you do what you do? I respect if you say this is for a paycheck. I could care nothing less.
Be honest. I respect you being honest.
These people that want to sign up or be a part of committees, or be a part of even nonprofits and be a part on teams. Like, it is, I feel anyone bringing on people onto these teams, you got to ask them, what is your agenda? Because you get players that come to teams and they already won chips.
They ain't worried about nothing. They just get a collect their check. That's it.
They came here because the pay was big. I already won my championship. So it's always good to ask, and they bring them because of their name. I'm going to pay you, but if they already won 2 or 3 championships, well, I care to come over here and really help you win.
I'm just over here rocking
so when you look at some people in those positions, if they're getting paid or if they're getting funding, like, they're not, we know it, we see it, but if you identify it or point it out, you look like a hater, or you look like, because so many people are fooled with the smoke and mirror when it comes to the community and helping and really getting out there and doing what you need to do. I feel also, who wants to be the chief? Let the chief be the chief.
Right.
Oh my God!
Listen, man, you definitely don't want to be the chief if you ain't got to be.
So,
but you know, as a leader, I feel as though when you put a target on your back, they go and shoot.
Yeah.
That's leadership.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
you got to go and knowing if
You
put
are
a
the
bull,
target,
if you put a bullseye on your back,
That's it.
they're going to
Yeah.
shoot, and that's the part of leadership. But just like you said, if I can tell you why I'm doing something, you know, if I can identify why I'm doing something, that's going to be it no matter what.
Right.
You know, it's not about me. It's
Right.
about, like you said, you know, I respect if you say I just want to get paid.
that's it.
So then I know how to deal with you accordingly.
Right.
I know when it comes to going in the trenches, you don't have invested interest.
Right.
So I'm
You don't
not going to
give a
call
damn.
you to go out here and serve meals to the homeless.
Right.
I'm not going to call you to go to, you know, a women's shelter and serve, or a school or a prison, because
Yes.
that's not your thing.
passion. Yeah.
You know what I
It's not
mean?
your calling.
Yeah, but don't jump in the photos.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't say, "Oh, I didn't see my name on the planning committee."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't get credit for this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that's hindering so much of greatness in communities.
Yeah.
Right. What can I say? My part, what I think.
You
of the
can say
community,
whatever you want to
You know what I'm
say.
saying? I look at the community and say, community has to. I don't care about politics. That shit don't excite me. Don't do nothing for me. Because at the end of the day, their interest is in them.
Mm-hmm.
Period. It ain't in none of us.
Right.
And we know as business people, entrepreneurs, that if we want this business to go, it's on us to make the business go.
Absolutely.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
So I say to the community, when are we going to lock in?
Right.
I can't trust that they're going to have the best interest for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it don't take nothing for us to go out and pick up some trash.
Mm-hmm.
It don't take nothing for us to be like, you eat today, baby? Or
Right.
I got an extra jacket in the closet,
Right.
little homie. You don't have
Right.
to walk down the street and freeze in the middle of the wintertime.
Right, and that's real.
That's us.
Yeah, that's how,
us.
yeah,
That's
us.
not nobody
Yeah,
else.
and don't take no pictures when I'm feeding the
Yeah,
homeless.
Don't. I hate that.
And another thing,
I
right?
hate that. Don't do that.
Listen, it becomes like sitting in church and not learning. Because I feel even on those things, we should be done picking up trash. If we go in the community and we done picked up trash, y'all should know already how to pick
Y'all
up your
should
own
know
trash.
how
And
to
it's
pick
trash
up your
cans
own
there.
I
trash.
feel every
You
summer
right.
we can't be picking
You
up
right.
trash.
And if
we
it's-
can't be.
You should know how to do that. by
Listen,
now.
and like you said, if it's where you live,
Yes.
you need to come out of your home
That part.
and help pick up trash.
Yes.
And please don't be offended when I knock on the door and say, hey,
Yes.
you know,
Send your
come out
kids
and
out.
join
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
Because I need you to be vested in
Yes.
your
That is just as
community.
much of an investment as money.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you can keep this neighborhood clean, if you keep the nonsense down, the violence, hey, listen, we going to police our own. Because us as black people, we love to be like, we don't want the police. You can't be anti-policing and anti-doing something at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, we trying to be both, and we can't be both.
We can't be both.
So we either got to say we going to police our communities, which is going to mean we got to stand up to the people that's doing the nonsense.
And that might be your friends.
And we might be cool with the people doing the nonsense.
Yeah.
But if we don't fix it and we expect anybody outside of us to come fix it, we are delusional as hell.
We're delusional.
That shit's not going to happen.
And you might not just like me. You just might not like me because I'm going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Like,
And you ain't got to like me, but I want the neighborhood to look a certain way and feel a certain way.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What happened if it's on us and our people, black, brown, don't want better?
And there's some that don't.
There
and I
is
truly
some that
believe
don't.
that, like, they're content where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're content where they're at, and that's okay. But there's a generation coming up who we have a responsibility to. Because that generation coming up, the adults are where they're at.
Right,
you know, they
right.
choose.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that generation coming up, they
Yeah,
deserve.
that's what Tap
Absolutely.
say. Tap be like, forget the adults.
They
man.
deserve.
Yeah.
They deserve better. They
Yeah.
deserve a community they can be proud of.
Right.
And just personally, what I'm starting to see more and more. I was at a school event the other day at a local school, and I'm going in there as a speaker this week for a program, and we were talking. So for this particular program, I'm the first. They've been doing it for several years, and it's men. I'm the first female to come in there and bring another perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me, he was like, all these years it just didn't, we've
Right,
been
right.
going in here. And he was like, and I read your bio, and he said, I'm going to tell you this. He said, their program, they have at least 5 students who are homeless.
Mm.
Because in their homes, there's domestic violence
Right.
situations.
Right.
So these young people rather take it upon themselves
Right.
to leave
Yeah.
the home
Yeah.
Easy, yeah.
and be homeless than to see what their parent is going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel as though I have a responsibility because that's what I do. And
Right,
my
right.
own experience on
Right.
the other side of it,
Right.
I have my kids.
Yes.
I know they're on the other side of it.
Right.
I know what my focus was. To say to these young people, that is not your permanent situation.
Right.
Mm.
You and how do I and I'm gonna tell y'all my heart right now after I heard that, I was like, how do I make sure that these kids have a safe place
Right.
where if they're in school that they can lay their head,
Right.
you know what I mean, where they can get a good night's sleep.
Right.
And I was like, God, what?
Hey, listen.
Right.
What?
Right.
But they don't deserve that.
Nah.
And as a community, it's like, do y'all out here, like you said, pondering over stuff.
Yeah.
It's bigger situations out here. How in the world a kid that wants to go to school and is excelling
Right.
is excelling?
Right.
You worried about I can't sleep because mom, and it ain't even your dad, it's mom's boyfriend. Just stuff like that. Like somebody who's not connected to me.
Right.
And it's bigger issues.
Yeah.
It's parenting
Yeah.
issues, all that
Yeah.
stuff. But again, when it comes to community, if I see a young person trying,
Right. Absolutely.
I'm going to put everything aside and say, how can we come together and do what we need to do as a community to make sure they're not one of the bad ones in school.
Right.
Right.
They're not one of the
Right.
bad ones. So I need us to put our stuff aside because I know you have a shelter. I know you have resources. Let's get this kid in school and keep this kid in school.
Yeah.
But Tiffany, I remember when what?
Yeah.
So you won't help me
Right,
to help
right.
them.
Right.
You
But
make
it's
it
not about
us.
me.
Right.
It's not
Don't
about
make it
us,
about
period.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what I mean. Like, don't make it about
Right.
us. Make
Yeah.
it about the goal, hitting the 3-pointer or whatever.
Right.
But we can't seem
You
to
said something
work
earlier.
that out.
We talked about, and you said when we talked earlier about being divided.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Always. Always.
Yeah.
Like,
We
it started.
divided. We not.
It started from the beginning
It's
of time.
yeah.
What I be trying to figure out is, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
I like the sports. Even in schools, right? And it's funny, who knows? Children have discernment that's out of this world.
Yeah.
Where it's not filtered,
Out
it's
of the
not
mouth
judged.
of babes.
It's
Yes.
not. You can't fake it to them. You can't pretend
They
it.
know
You can tell them
everything,
whatever
yeah.
you want, but I promise you, they identify real quick. So I'll be wondering, like, even in school systems, even in our school systems, or Harrisburg School District, I'll be wondering, how can you want the best from the children when the staff and the people that you hire don't give their best to them?
Man.
Like it's. I'm saying it, so whoever wants to come, I'm whatever. But you can't expect greatness from things when the leaders are not right.
Right.
I feel you can't expect the community to give you impact, show you resolve. Like I don't. When they know, like they see the
They know
people that's
who care.
connected.
Yeah,
Yes,
they know who
like
care.
they know, like it's.
Like these kids know who care.
Yeah, they
know,
definitely do, yeah.
like you said, their radars are
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah.
Like they know what'd you say? They know who's trying to
Listen,
spin them.
Yes.
They know, like, when you care, when you take the time, like, they know you care. Like,
Right.
these kids ain't dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking the time to have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
You asked me how my
Right.
day was.
Right.
You ain't asked me about me being late.
Right.
You ain't asked me about no homework. You just asked me how my
Yeah.
day was.
Yeah, that's it.
And, and in that conversation the other day, and again, not knocking nobody, because again, if you don't know, if that's not your experience, and I think that's one of the things, we need to see more people who've had that experience, who've had inexperience, and understand to never be ashamed of anything
Right.
that you went
How do you
through.
make it safe for them?
Right.
How do you?
Well, I know for me, you know what I do, and I shared this because when we did 500 men and women reading, I read to a classroom of 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And I was like, I ain't reading to these kids. They don't want to be read to.
Right.
But I took the workbook of my program of the Power of Positive Thinking, and we talked about just everyday decisions and how your decisions impact not only your day, but, you know, and their teacher literally did a live reflecting on that.
Yes.
And she said initially she was watching them because, you know, they can cut up.
Yeah.
She said, but then she really started listening.
Right.
And she said she started tuning in and she started engaging. And, you know, I shared it with y'all. She said these kids started opening up about stuff that they probably, you know, wouldn't have unpacked. Yeah. How did I make it safe?
Because you was vulnerable.
Because number one, I told them, I was like, listen, you know, this is and she said that this was a confidential space, so whatever shared here won't go outside this room. Right. So then I said, I said, as a matter of fact, I said, speaking upon that, I said, I will tell you something about me. Yeah. And I said it. Right. And I said, you know, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. Yes. And I said, I was stabbed 7 times. And we, you know, that transition from that to now, you know, and they just, that makes them safe. Yeah. You know, because, and again, some kids know when you say domestic violence, my mom, my mom's boyfriend, they can identify with it, you know, and they just open up. Like, they just open up. Like, there's nothing. They just need that
that's
space.
exactly it. With a lot of kids, and I ain't gonna say a lot of kids. I don't know. Some kids don't have that space.
They don't have
that to be expansive
and
of
just
themselves,
to be a kid.
And they never seen it. They, you know, what I mean, they, you know, I see some folks. Hey, listen, make sure your little brother and them's fed. Everybody gotta be taken care of in the bed by 9. Where you at? Mm-hmm. I'm out. I see y'all tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's really stuff out there. Like, we live what we consider normal, but there's people out here who live some crazy.
We know it because we friends with them.
Yeah, that's true.
We ain't gonna act like they ain't on our social media page. We ain't gonna act like we not heart in they nonsense. We not gonna act like we not friends with them.
We know who they are. We know who they are.
We know who they are, and I promise.
I tried to be nice, y'all. I tried to let y'all niggas live.
No, we know
y'all.
Listen, I can show you a terrorizer, and I'll show you their mother.
Yeah,
I'll show you their daddy and everything.
I'll show
you what's important to them.
But then on the flip side, understand this: everybody doesn't grow up in trauma. And you know what I mean? And that's what and we're so used to as a community. And then you say, I didn't grow up like that.
Listen.
And they look at you like and I even my dad wasn't in my life. My mom raised me, but I was around my grandparents a lot. And my grandmom and granddad were married forever before, you know, my grandma passed away in 87, my granddad passed away in 2013. But even though my mom was a single parent, I saw the stability and what it looked like. You know, my aunt and my uncle were married for years until my uncle passed away. My other aunt and my uncle were married for years. Right. So, you know, everybody doesn't grow up in trauma. So for me, I don't know what that. Yeah. I know what it looks like. You know, from different things my mom went through, but. No, everybody doesn't grow up in trauma.
My daughter came. She just moved back up here. She went to the high school. She go to East. And she's like, she was telling me about her first day how she met these kids, and she's like, the one girl has a baby, and I'm like,
she devastated.
She was devastated. I laughed so hard because it's normal to us. But she was just like, she has a baby. We're only 17. I'm like, I know a girl that had like 3 kids by the time she was 17, but she was so shocked that I'm like, everybody doesn't grow up in trauma, but those of us who know what trauma is, we just so used to it. We're like.
And our kids see it different. Like our kids is happy go lucky.
It's the same now. I feel like it's the same mentality. It's just switched over. It is like so many people want to have I accept it. It makes me who I am. But everybody don't want to have trauma and a tragic story.
No,
like, it become this thing like. I wanted to be a slave. No. I was a slave. And the other person over here like, nah, I was free. Oh, you ain't get to be a slave.
Yeah,
you ain't be a slave. You ain't tough.
Whoa.
You ain't cool. You ain't cool because you ain't seen people get hung with picking cotton. Like, why do we gotta identify or feel that
Everything has to be
real
trauma,
and
yeah.
involved because
Yep.
we have come from trauma,
Right.
or we ate oodles and noodles or block cheese?
Right.
I don't want to keep telling you my tragic story.
How
I
dare
don't
you.
want, when it comes to that part of my living, like, I am no longer a slave. Like it's a thing, and that's what we used to feud over. When the people was coming from the south and coming to the north, the northern blacks was like, hold on now. They were like, wait, you were a slave. Well, I was a freeman, like, and it's the same mentality
Right.
now.
It's
Like,
levels of
people,
being
like,
black.
It's levels of, and then you have to be the grimiest. You
Right.
have to be the ghettoist.
It
You
depends
have
on
to
which
be the
level you're on,
loudest.
yeah.
You have to be the most
For real.
ironic
Yeah.
speaking.
That's for
and
real.
It's like it's an identification thing that has been carried over. That this is just.
And you know where the most power in it, and thank you for the shameless plug for my upcoming speaking program.
Let's go.
Because that's what I'm telling these speakers. I tell you I'm a survivor.
Yes.
I tell you I was stabbed 7 times. I'm not telling y'all that story. I'm not keeping
Right,
it there.
Yes.
right.
Because too many people need to see when you keep sowing that same
but
story.
You don't live there. It's a
Yes,
difference of telling
like
a
stop
story
living
and
in
living
your
there.
past,
Yes.
and that's what I'm running
Right.
into.
Yes.
Like I'm running into
Yes.
new clients,
Yes.
and my story, and this story is so depressing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You sound like you're still stuck
Yeah.
in
They
it.
stuck- they
I
are.
need you to
They
not look
are.
like what you went through, because nobody's going to be motivated. Nobody's going to be changed. Nobody's going to be trained. And they're like, well, you tell your story. And I said, you've never heard me tell my story. You hear me tell you I was stabbed 7 times.
Right.
I don't sit there and tell
Yes.
you
Everything,
everything.
yeah.
I focus on now,
Yes.
and that's why I don't allow people to take me. Well, this, and that. Like we had the conversation here, but like in that setting and speaking to
Right.
people
Yes.
as a whole,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Right.
I need you to know what you can become.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
They don't want that
Yeah,
idea.
They don't
yeah.
want
That's
that.
too much work.
Like, why are we talking about if you know
That's too much work.
That's too much work.
That's too much
Like
work.
you're still carrying a victim mentality,
yeah.
and the more you
The
speak
identity.
victimization, you're
Yes.
just
You
sowing
are a victim.
victimization.
Yes.
You're gonna
Yes.
stay in
Yes.
that
Yes.
mindset.
It's
You
a-
are what you
It's an
identify.
identity that they don't want to lose. I think it's an identity, and that identity is not just carried over there. We carry the identity of we want to be related to brokenness. We want to
Yeah.
be related to the struggle. We want to be related to grinding so hard at our feet and pulling up my
Yeah, because
bootstraps
that's
and
all
I
we've
would-
been given,
that-
or that's all we've given ourselves.
It's. I think when we speak kingdom, when we use language,
Right,
when we
right,
truly
right.
identify with who
Right.
we are and whose we are and what we know and what we do, we'll lose all of that because we'll know that keeping that identity, telling that story of slavery, like you will hear people that we so fixated that we will take slavery, identify it to us not applying ourselves now, blame the white man, blame all of these things from a system that things was broken and you had to do. It's not the same.
It's
But
not-
we-
not the
we
same.
identify
It's
that
not the
and make
same.
it, we
No,
make it part of our
sir.
identity now of why we're not applying ourselves. This gives us the reason to say this is being held back from us.
on.
This is being the reason to saying they're treating us like this or you ain't qualified over. We're giving that identity.
But
That's
the
not
trash-
You
just,
keep
You're
sowing
right,
it.
But the trash thing about it is we couldn't survive slavery for us to be here today.
yeah.
So we talk down on the slaves as if they didn't have to survive for us to even be here.
I don't think they talk down on it. I think I think they want to identify with and use it as
As a
yes,
scapegoat, as
yes,
a
yeah.
I'm like, we couldn't have survived that to get to where we are today. The way people are complaining, because if the slaves have what we have, this thing would be immaculate right now. We had that coming out of slavery with the Reconstruction. Black people had
We had
everything.
to work,
we
yeah,
had
yeah,
everything.
yeah. And we took pride in
And
it.
we
Yeah.
took pride
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It's
We
like
took pride.
it bothers me that only time you could get a black neighborhood is if it's the hood or the ghetto.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to live in a black affluent neighborhood.
Yes.
Listen.
I want everybody to be
Yeah.
around. It's gonna be y'all in there,
And
and,
you know
and we
what?
all gonna have bread.
They have some.
And they do have
They
some.
have some.
But a lot of us haven't been privy to it.
Yes.
So we don't, like you said, people they try to take on the pride of a
Yeah.
slave or saying well, because of slavery this. If we seen the same way we see lack, if we seen more,
Yeah, abundance, yes.
abundance,
Yes.
we be like, yo, it's only right for us.
Yeah.
I had a homie tell me, he said, he moved down North Carolina from here, and he was like, yo, the way they think down there is completely like
Yeah, oh, yeah.
all the little black kids like, I want to go to school. Everything's black. Everything is everybody know what they doing. It's a pride thing to go to school.
A
Out
sense
here,
of
it's
pride.
like it's pride to be like, man, when you graduate, if you graduate, you can catch you one of them little jobs in the warehouse or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
the post office or whatever. If you do that here, you're making it.
Mm-hmm.
But other places, it's like, nah, man, we get degrees, we got to do this, we got to do that. We just live in our community, I would say, by such a lack mindset.
But even if you stay in the community and you get a good job, there's nothing wrong with
No,
it.
that's fine.
You know what I
That's
mean?
fine. Absolutely.
But don't squander your opportunities.
That's it.
Like you can stay home, but don't squander your opportunities here.
Make home better.
Make home
Better.
better. Like
yeah.
Understand the importance of credit. Understand, just different things, because just like it's something to be in other spaces and see how us as Black people live.
Right.
And you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking at something the other day, a house here, and the house was $469,000. And as I was looking at the amenities, I'm looking out back. I'm like, where the pool?
Right.
Because just from the picture on Zillow, I can see the other people's house.
Right, they got pools.
I was like, I told my daughter, this ain't Texas. Because, in Texas, 469, that's a mini mansion.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Like, what you can have somewhere else and be Black doing it. Like you said, it's a matter of pride.
Right.
Like, just certain things you just take pride in as a
pride,
Black
you can go far.
person.
I think it is the narrative because...
And not being ashamed of it.
It's the narrative because I promise you, in these institutions, every Black man that I've come across, the majority, and I'm going to say a high, that's the story. The story is it's not there.
Right.
It's not achievable. It's not reachable. It's this person's fault. It's from this system.
Right.
And Black men.
It's somebody else's fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's somebody else's fault.
It's a thing where because I come in, I don't. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. I don't come in to draw you in to connect with you trauma wise.
Right.
We're not going trauma bond.
Yes. So it comes times where I love sometimes where they look at me and be like, "You don't understand. You don't know."
Wait a minute.
So,
wait a minute. I love that.
Right, and
you don't understand.
So I have so now I have to take off the man that I am today, so that I can show you,
who I was.
So I love not having to identify with where I'm from, or what I used to do, or how I used to be, or how I used to think.
Yep, that speaks volumes.
I'm so much of the new man that it pains me to have to go back and to think or to be that way. So I know if I'm around people that cause me to react as Bun or make me go, I got to get away from you.
Right.
I got to get from around you.
Got to, yeah.
I have to step out. You see, my community doesn't. I feel tragic for the shootings. I feel tragic for the things. I mourn for them. I feel those things. But it doesn't anger me enough that I'm going to lose the dignity or lose the vision of what we can have or what we can be. I look and I'm talking about, this is just my vision. I can sit and I look down the block, especially on Briggs over here on 19th, and I look and I just like, it's family, it's kids.
Right.
If we would just care a little bit more. Like if you care about how out front of your house looks, if you care about mowing the grass, if you care about getting that old ass car we can have what we run to other people's neighborhoods to have. And I'm just like,
and they running to take over your neighborhood.
It's the simplest thing. Like when what I've been learning? The simplest things is the hardest things for people to listen.
Doing right is hard. I don't know why.
That's real.
And when you do right, like you're something's wrong with you. People are so suspicious of, like what's your MO, what's your motive.
Right.
First of all, I don't want nothing from none of y'all. And when you say that to people, again, y'all know me. Like, you really got to understand, I don't want anything from y'all. Absolutely. I want better for you. But when you see it, people become so intimidated by what they see.
Right.
And it's like, I don't see you here, I don't see you there, and you're not going to.
Right.
Because I know, like you said, I know who I am. I know what moves me.
Yeah.
I'm about building.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not about show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be, I don't care who's at the party.
Yeah, I don't got FOMO.
I don't care
Yeah.
how many checks they can write. I don't care
Yeah.
about stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'm at a space where I'm like, I want to invite y'all to the table and see how it's done.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Or
right.
use my power for
Yeah.
good. And so y'all can really
Yeah.
see how it,
Yeah.
like, y'all don't understand how this stuff out here.
Yeah.
This ain't how it's
Yeah.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
really showing
They're not
y'all.
really
They're
qualified.
not giving you power. I want to give you the power.
Yeah, that's a
And
big
that
thing.
starts with knowing who
Yeah,
you are
yup.
and not sacrificing who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not sacrificing me.
Yeah.
You know, and just like you said, you know, they be like, you don't understand. I'll be like, whoa,
Yeah.
don't
yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah. pretty much.
Because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like, don't get it twisted. But it's like, you don't want to have to go
Yeah,
there. Like
yeah,
you said, like,
yeah.
I don't want to have to,
Yeah.
go low.
Yeah. And,
To
yeah,
understand, but just like, and I'm gonna say this, and you know, again, like you said, y'all might, you know, these prison situations. If we would say to the community, go get the damn job at the prison. Don't be ashamed.
Right.
And that meeting,
Don't
it said
populate
it's 60 openings.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But
60.
but as a local community, man, my
Oh, that-
my homie.
Ah,
Oh, I almost cussed big time. Forget your homie
Yeah.
out here in the streets
Yeah.
doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
listen,
I won't go be a
Listen.
cop because I'm gonna have to
Oh,
police
better
my
get that
own.
money.
If you gotta arrest your
Listen.
damn friend,
listen,
but you're providing for your family,
listen.
do your damn job.
It's all.
Like,
listen,
populate it on a whole
It's their
nother
job to-
level.
it's
That's
their
why I
job
stay
to
away
catch
from the
it.
meetings.
Yeah.
Let me
It's
shut up.
all. Listen, it's all trail and all. Until your son's laying there
That's
horizontal
what
with a bullet
I'm
in his
saying.
head.
That's the crazy part, ain't it?
Come on,
Then it's-
promote your
then-
son. Tell your son to
Then
go
feel sorry for
apply.
me. Feel sorry
Go
for me.
apply.
I'm so feel bad for me, people.
See,
I knew my son was an asshole.
Go apply.
Yeah,
What you
I knew
say,
it was.
little trigger
yeah,
finger.
yeah. Listen,
A
I'm
little
telling you.
trigger.
Listen,
Like, you know their names. Tell them to go.
I like what you said.
If it's 60 jobs, why is there not a career fair at these high schools?
Yeah.
Yeah,
From the county,
yeah,
from the prison,
yeah.
from the state prison.
That's true.
If y'all got these jobs, probation and parole, the state police, why are you
that-
not allowing them in these schools? These kids are staying in these communities. Man,
They
my
live
friends
there,
come
yeah.
through there. That's the best people.
Yeah, especially if you
The
care
best
to make a
people to
difference. Yeah.
govern your community. Because you
Yeah.
won't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
You won't see it. But we like, nah, man, I can't go be a cop. So you gonna complain.
Yeah, because the
About
people that
what
will
goes
do it,
on.
they leaving. The ones I know that became cops, they went to whole other places and became cops. They ain't
Put me
staying.
in with the square money.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Like, the benefits is good.
Purpose-driven
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
If I'm not trill enough to sit at the table with the low, I'm cool.
cool. I don't
Thank
be
you.
at that
I
table.
graduated. I'm not accepted. I love that I'm not accepted
Right.
in them communities. I'm happy that I'm not accepted in them circles.
Right.
Even where I've been, I'm glad that they be like, "Oh, bro, you don't belong in here." I love when people tell me I don't belong somewhere.
Right.
Like, what are you doing here? This is for
Right.
you. I like when they say, "I'm not offended." I'm not offended because I know how you see me.
Right.
So I'm
Right,
not
right,
offended.
right.
You know, I am a step
Or not
above-
even that.
Yes.
How you see yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
how
true,
you
too.
see yourself.
That's true,
I
too,
had a
yeah.
conversation with a female a couple weeks ago. She was like, I know you don't go out no more. First of all, what?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But I'm different than y'all.
Yeah.
I go out to be missed and
Yes.
to enjoy it. When
Yes.
you pop
Right.
out, it's like,
You
I'm
out-
like,
you out every
oh my
weekend.
God.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
see y'all all the
I'm
time.
out every weekend.
That
knock it
becomes
off.
common.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
be common.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
don't be common.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
common. I don't want to do everything everybody else is doing. Like you said, I don't want to be in them places unless I choose to go
Yeah.
in those places. And I will go.
Yeah.
If I want to, I ain't going to bills. But
Yeah.
if I wanted to,
Yeah, I could.
I could.
Yeah, I care too much about my life.
If I had wanted to, I never wanted
Right.
to. So,
Because anything
I'm past the
could.
ego.
Yeah.
I be here, they be in there. Ain't no one gonna stop me from going where I want to go.
You know what?
They ain't stopping me. I just love my life. I just want to get home
Yes,
because I
yes.
know that people
It's
that
too
don't
many
think
If you
bodies.
be there the wrong night and a
Yes.
bullet stop
No,
your
it's
ass,
right. They got
man.
no
they
name
don't
on
think
them.
too
I'm cool,
clearly at
man.
that
I'm
time.
good.
And they, people be like, you can get shot in your home.
yeah, you right.
But there's a better chance.
They gonna get who did it at the crib.
And that's why I was saying yesterday when we was talking a little bit about is
They might not.
when you do
Right.
well in your marketplace and you show through action that it's achievable and that you can do and become something. It's a lonely road standing on the side
Standing
and
on
doing
your own.
what's right. Because even like now, it used to be a dignity where they had for like pastors, and now that name is being tainted because now like people are just living to
Get swallowed up.
Oh my God!
There's always a moment in this podcast.
I'm sorry.
By somebody from the congregation. Oh my goodness! But
It's always somebody.
I'm sorry.
It's always him. It's always him.
those positions are not like sacred no more where people are
No.
striving to be these things, and it's like, so I feel like doing right and striving to be different and alike is important, man. And I feel for us, you, me, black entrepreneurs that's doing right and doing what they're supposed to do, like we all are a part of our environment. That's
Right,
how I would put
right,
it. So
right.
when we act like you don't know, listen, we all grew up in the same environment.
Right.
You know what's
We
going on.
all understand in some form, if not to a degree of others, what if we take off the names of the tragedies or the things that happen to us, we understand the emotion and the feeling that comes behind
Right.
loss,
Right. Absolutely.
grief,
Yeah.
being abandoned.
Right.
Like, regardless of when it happened, we all understand those
We get
attributes
it.
with those feelings and
Right.
those things. And I feel like it's okay to come out of that.
Yeah,
It's
it
okay
definitely is.
to. It's okay.
You should want to.
I don't know. I just be feeling like the sun ain't shining on us, man. And I be feeling like the people that drive us, that we look up to, and that we like, they either and it'd be like, okay, because they dribble a basketball, now we saying they're highly intelligent.
Right,
so now
right,
they're
right.
opinion because they're rich and they're a basketball player.
So
He's the go-to for everything.
Yeah, or we got rappers coming in and there's little sound bites, and we're like, oh, that's and like it's
So do you believe that?
it's different.
Do you believe that people don't either one because they don't want to do the work or they don't know how to do the work? Because I'm seeing more and more, and it's funny, these presentations, these different things that I have coming up. I'm seeing more and more where we're talking about that rooted trauma in health and wellness. And people are like, oh, I want to be a part of that conversation. So do we not know, like we said, do we not have those safe spaces where, enough people they're not showing us? Like, do we not have enough people, you know what I mean? Because, like, if we opened up, they gravitate to us.
Right. So,
You know what I mean? Like, when you started doing what you're doing, people started gravitating to you because you were showing them how.
Yes.
So do we not have enough of that?
I think
What
we
is
don't
it,
have
empathy?
enough of that. But
Not
then,
the empathy, but enough of, like, the guidance.
So I
We
think
don't. We don't.
You know what I mean?
say
Like,
no.
and I'm not even going to say, like,
Guidance-wise-
like, not in programs.
Yeah, but guidance-wise,
I
no.
see. I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both, but there's no excuse because technology has vast.
Yeah,
pushed us.
absolutely.
So it's like,
But you have to want to find that
It has to
information.
be like, what do you want to tune into?
Right,
Like,
absolutely.
what do you want to connect to? Because I feel like there's a point in every person's life where you get tired of the same old or the same way you thinking. I like that thing where they'll say they even put it in terminology, spirituality, like when the Lord comes knocking at your heart. See, it's not just the Lord come knocking at. There's a period in your life, scientifically, from creation, that even out of religion, that you come face with evaluating your life. That is a part of our makeup. So I think it's like part of it's not knowing, but not wanting to apply yourself, because I feel that,
like you said, it's hard to do
It's
the right
hard.
thing.
But that's what I'm asking
It's
you.
hard
But
to
that's
do
what
the
I'm
right
saying.
thing,
So
yeah.
in applying yourself, are there not enough BPs that we see? Are there not enough positives that we see? Are there not enough? That's what I'm saying. Are there not enough of us who can really humble ourselves and say, you know what? Let me be the realest I can be with you. I had a traumatic situation.
yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? What you
I don't
think you
think we
see?
sporty enough.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
don't
it's not sexy.
I doubt that, though.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
like,
gonna
yeah,
say.
it's not sexy.
It's not
It's not sexy until
It's
they meet
definitely not
you.
sexy,
Until
but
they
I
meet
think-
you. And they're
I
like,
think-
whoa,
Yeah.
I
I
want to
think
be
we
in
are
that.
definitely sporty enough It's not going to be
like
sexy.
that word, but it is
You
sexy.
don't like the sporty?
I like
sporty,
sporty,
but I
but I
don't-
like
I ain't want to be
yeah.
sexy.
no,
but
no,
I just want
no,
to
it's
be
all
I
this
think
sexy
we're
about
sporty
stuff.
enough. Like sporty is cold. You know what I mean? I think sporty. We definitely cold enough to talk. Our,
Yeah, we
you know
cold
what I mean, talk our
enough,
talk.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big talk.
The sexiness of it. You ain't gonna like how this thing about to go down.
And see, that's me. That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
be
Like, you ain't
like-
about to like it,
Yeah.
but you about to get the truth.
Yes.
So it's gonna be sporty. Like, you know what I mean? You can get fly with the best of them. You can get money with the best of them. But when you get this truth,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be sexy.
It's not.
It's not.
going-
It's going to pain you a little bit because it's real life.
Right.
But that's what we
You can't,
need.
right. So
That's what we
so I
need.
think like understanding you can't escape pain.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
You can't escape it.
The reason why I
No.
said fearless is because for years I've tried to escape the pain of whatever it was.
Okay.
So you can avoid it if you're scared of it. If you like if it causes you any discomfort or any pain or any scaredness or anything where you just like, I don't know. Nah.
But even
we gotta
it
go.
makes it heavy.
It makes it way heavier.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, we got to be fearless in going forward, so that we don't keep making things heavier for ourselves. We don't want to do that.
So in the power of positive thinking, that's where I flip that.
Power
I
positive
say-
thinking. Go check it out.
So that's what I say,
Yeah.
like with that thinking. So I look at fear. If it's not big enough, if it doesn't
Scare you.
scare me,
Right.
it's not big enough.
Right.
It has to scare me in order
But
for
everything
me.
can't scare you.
When
So-
it comes to my goals and dreams,
Right.
like
Yeah,
I
I
have
need
some,
them that
I have
big,
some
yeah.
big,
Right.
like
That if you talk
big.
to people,
No, I
like I got
understand that.
goosebumps.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying it.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
have big.
Yeah.
I got big dreams,
Absolutely, I
and
believe
they
it.
scared the hell
That's
out of
right.
me. But over time, I've seen those dreams, those
Yes,
goals
yes.
attained.
Yes.
Right,
I'm
because
like,
it's
well,
just
shoot,
it's an
Yeah.
if that
opportunity.
scared me, let me go
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody doesn't understand. If it doesn't scare you, if it don't take you outside of your comfort zone, it's not going to change
Yeah.
you.
Right.
A rubber band, when you stretch it and you
It could pop.
yeah,
you
it
know
could
what I mean?
pop, it might
yeah,
not,
right.
but you stretch it enough.
Yeah.
The exercise, the
Yeah.
muscles.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can explain
Yeah.
this. When you work that muscle,
Yeah.
it's going to be
Right.
sore when you
Yeah.
first start out.
Absolutely.
But when you get used to it, you
Yes.
condition it.
Right.
Yeah.
That muscle flexes.
Yeah.
So we're at a point now where we're
Yeah.
flexing.
That's it.
And I want to show y'all
That's
how to
it.
flex.
I be hungry to be around people that's kicking doors. That's
That's
talking
what.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
yes.
it.
That's
I love
sexy.
it. I love it.
be
Yes,
wanting to be
that's
around-
sexy.
I'll be-
Yes,
listen,
yes.
Listen, I've been on conference calls with people that don't live here, like millionaire black people. I just be like,
Mm-hmm.
I've been hurt. Be like, oh. But
Yeah,
listen,
it's
I'm in this.
exciting.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm in
That
this
room,
because
yeah.
I know, like, it's going to be me. You know, so I listen. I be wanting, that's why when they be like mentors books, and I could call you. I said, sir, I know who to avoid and who not. Like, listen, because I want to be around people that when they talk, they talk.
Right.
It's inspiration.
Right,
But when I
right.
leave, I don't care if it's a micro
You want to go
conversation.
pick a yes,
come on,
yes.
let's
Like
go.
you leave,
Oh,
like you
listen,
want to run
listen,
through. You want to
listen.
run through a door.
Listen,
Like you want to run
listen.
through.
So and that's why I be like with people when you come here, oh, you getting that from me. So
Yes,
and you
yeah.
getting double. This is what you getting. So this is what. I don't
But
know.
and
It's
we-
funny
we-
because
and we
people
see
think
how it
like,
works.
is he mean? I'm like, nah, you about to go in there, work out, and then have a good conversation,
Yeah.
and you gonna learn something about yourself.
But
in the mix.
you look at some of the best. That's how some of the best do it, and they get flack. Like, and I'll just like Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders, and you could say he talks mad junk,
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
No,
real
he
about
he
it.
gonna walk in
Like,
it, though.
like yeah, he
Yeah.
walks
Walking
in
it.
it, and
Yeah.
he's dead as
Yeah.
serious about
Yeah.
it. But again, that's
Yeah.
where the people find the
Yeah.
problem at. Like right now, we're
And
talking
he
about
loves
sports.
community,
Yeah.
sports. He loves his players.
Yeah,
He,
he
loves
does.
it. It's
He
not
does.
just we here to win games.
Yeah.
But I love y'all.
Right.
And that's the thing. We can still
'Cause
win.
you know he's like a
but I
dad.
love
Yeah.
y'all.
like,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
you give like that mother and like all of that comes with you, the toughness,
Right.
the tenacity, the
Yeah,
persistence.
but it's
And
like-
it's a motherly love that these young girls and young women get to experience, and you're okay with being transparent, and
Yeah.
you have to have what you do is you do have this. You have to be balanced to have enough that you know what to give, that you
And,
have enough
like-
to pour.
Like I want y'all to be good. Like and I'll say again, like they're having this conversation about Angel Reese. Man, sis, listen, you're good.
Yeah.
I don't care, but we're not used to seeing that from women.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were talking about her being the villain and this, and that. That girl is that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is it not okay? Because again, we see the guys do it, but y'all uncomfortable because she's doing it. Nah, sis, you're beautiful. You know what I mean? We might not agree with everything, but it makes us uncomfortable because we're not used to seeing it. No, I want you to be that great. You know you're that great. I don't want you to humble anything about your gift. You have a gift.
I'm learning that now. If I'm the villain, I'm okay with being the villain.
I'm gonna make me the villain. I done been the villain in a couple of things.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm about to turn it up. You ever see the Joker?
That's what I'm saying.
When you see PP, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, let's go. But
like I'm the villain in your story.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm good.
I think you have to be okay with
being okay with it all.
Yes, being yourself and putting yourself out there. I was listening to Grant Cardone, and he was like, man, however you see it, you want people to know who you are and what you stand for and what you do, even if they don't like it. He said, if you're posting it and you're showing it and you're talking it, keep talking it, even if they don't like it. If they don't like it, they can turn. But to the point where it start clicking, and once you know, I'm with the language thing. Like I always say, your language is your carbon footprint. You connect with people that are speaking the words that you speak that resonate with your spirit. You know, it's a thing. That's why, like, some churches where you go in there and they're just speaking broken, sometimes I can't relate because I'm not in that space. I'm not going to lower myself to get back in the field of work because I'm at an uplifting higher level. So, you know, we come to this thing where it's conditioned. Oh, you should be here. This every Sunday. If they're not growing, anything that's not growing is
dying.
I want to feel elevated. I want to feel hungry. I want to feel. So when I know I'm calling you, I know I don't gotta hear the "Whoa, it's me, Tiff." You know. So when I know, I know. Hey,
you're gonna be mad at me when you get off the phone with me. What are you crying for?
So you look for that, and I think that's when we become hungry for that, and we get our community hungry for that, and we show. Like it's gonna, so I think we have to figure out different ways. I think we have to not just get the money for our nonprofits, but actually get the money and take all of that and put it in buying something they can see, something that is tangible, they can touch. It's something that you can see it being a change. Like and it just can't be one night. It just can't be. Some things we're going to have to consistently do. Because I promise you, even with drug blocks, they know what blocks they are. They know what blocks the kids is on. You can ride. I can make a whole list and tell you what block they hang out on. What this happens over here. This is just from me riding through every day. Riding through. So if you really wanted to fix problems, you can listen. You have problems. Problems are solvable.
You go to the problem solvers.
Yes, and this what's the extent that you're trying to
solve,
to solve this problem, and then you're going to have to, speak outside of those people. I feel like this too. If your circle, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle.
Wrong.
That's why when people go, "Oh, you think?" Nah, I'm around people that think way more than I think.
Right.
Listen, I got a brother, man. Listen,
but bro. sometimes when you are the smartest person in the circle, you gotta lead the others.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to. Yes. You gotta be willing to lead the others.
Because listen, I know there's some things I just be like, and it ain't that I'm afraid. I just be like, and you'll be like, this is what you got to do.
Right.
I'm like, I'm coming, but you're gonna have to drag me. But I'm not staying, and I'm not gonna shrink and become. I know I gotta rise up because I know the language. So if she's telling me I can do it, then that's one person I need.
That's it.
I don't need a million likes to say, I'm good at that. No, if you tell me that I'm good and this is what you do, and I'm cool.
And you good at what you do?
Yeah. That's the other thing. When you step out there and you talking like you talking, you got to make sure behind you, your eyes, not your eyes. We all got issues. I got issues. But that's something else I learned from Dion the other day. Issues, it's you. You are the only person who can change that. Issues, it's you. But what I also learned is I have issues, but when I step out before the community, the people, I don't make it like I don't have issues. I'm not perfect. But when it comes to your guiding you and it comes to you being better, I'm gonna be solid on that.
Right.
And everybody don't understand that. Like you're not gonna see me like we say, I'm not gonna lead you and then you be like, whoa, Tiff got all this stuff going on in her personal life. Like you're not gonna But I was gonna say too, broken, what they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Broken systems get money. If you fix a school system, it'll stop getting funding. So how do we function? You think about it. you look at like inner city schools and you look at more affluent schools.
Right.
Affluent schools have resources because of the people who support it.
Right,
So
true.
that's
Yeah.
what
So-
the prison doing. Sorry, go ahead.
But you and,
Yeah,
I was
that's
going
it.
listen. So
That's it.
I was going to say this about this. So I would be that person at that meeting to say, everybody on that board, how do we make working in the prison sexy and not coming to the prison? What are y'all willing
Right,
to do in
right.
this community that makes it appealing for a young black
'Cause you
man
robbed
or
somebody, you could've got
female?
paid the 60K.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So how do we make it appealing to come there as an employee and not an
We,
inmate?
us, my bad.
Go ahead.
We, us.
We say don't go to jail.
No, we have to make it
So
sexy.
let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
how do we make winning appealing?
Winning.
Winning.
You see what happens with winning. Listen, I'm winning. I be
I feel like
listen.
people don't want to win.
I just got a $15,000 grant
That's
that
what
I
I'm saying.
applied on a whim. Nobody.
Yeah.
Talk about
You
it.
nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and when I got it, it was based on what I do. I was able
Right.
to show
Yes.
what nobody helped me.
Yes.
You can't say, oh, she's connected with
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But what am I also doing with that? I'm allowed to invite 20 people to come.
Right, right.
And that's what I'm doing. So I'm looking at the people in
Yes.
the community. I'm out in the community, and I'm inviting people to the table that you may not have ever seen
Yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
Because I want them to experience
Right,
this.
right.
Yes.
And you know, people would be, well, why is she invited? I ain't connected to none of them.
Yeah.
But I want us to come together and see how can we better our community. You know, and then when you come back, you'll be like, Tiff was like real.
Right, right.
Yes.
Right.
Like I want that from y'all, but I
Yeah.
want y'all to be able to experience it. So like I look at, and it's great, I look at Oprah and I look at how she moves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's very strategic in
Yeah.
how she moves. And I love that. She calls the shots,
Yeah.
invites people to the table,
Yeah.
empowers them.
Yeah.
Like you leave
That's
like,
true,
and
yeah.
I'm like, that's the kind of
Yeah.
power I
Big
want to
dog.
have. Like
Exactly.
that's what I aspire for. I just said the
You
other
got
day,
it.
Oprah
You
just
already
turned
doing it.
70. Man, I got 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen. Yeah.
Time
We
to turn
gonna
it.
do this. It's
Yeah.
time to
Time
turn
to turn
up.
it. Time
Listen,
to turn
I
it
It's
all
time to
the
turn the
way.
heat up.
Yeah, all the
I
way.
believe
Mm-hmm.
it. Listen,
I believe
I'm
Like
it.
this whole thing, we
I'm connected to
like
the
I don't
source.
know what's about to happen, but I just
I feel it. I know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Like that's where I'm at. I'm like I'm you're
Yeah.
the sunshine, the brightness. I just that's
Yeah.
how I am. Like I just feel like
My
yeah.
bad, my
You
bad.
know, and
Yep. I just that's
Hey,
how
that's
I
what's
feel.
up.
Like you feel like
That's
everything
awesome.
connected to you.
And you
is
know
just-
what? That's radiating off of you
Yes,
too.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can feel the energy, so I already
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah,
Well, let's
yeah.
go. Let's
You know
go.
what I mean?
Right.
Let's go.
Well, I guess we gotta close it out, ladies and gentlemen. But we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Quit the Cat
Yes.
Podcast. It's your boy BP alongside the Bishop
That's right.
and PosiTiff.
Ruby.
Keep it groovy, keep it player,
Keep it sexy.
keep it sexy,
Peace.
and sporty. We like sporty
We
too.
like sporty.
Let's go.
Peace.
Peace. Peace to the gang, peace of gang, and welcome to Quit the Cat Podcast.